Alright guys, so today we're going to look at The Wind Cries Mary by Jimi Hendrix. It's a really fun song. It sounds good on acoustic, it sounds good on a Fender Stratocaster, it really just sounds good anywhere you play it. It is a great song, one of my favorite Jimi Hendrix songs, and it's pretty simple compared to like the rest of his songs. So I hope that you find this helpful. It's really going to be 3 parts, okay? So let's start with the intro. Once you learn the intro, you're actually going to use that throughout the rest of the song. Okay, so it starts like this. That's part 1. So that's part 1. Those 2 together. Alright, what that is you're going to bar the entire 6th fret of all the strings. Okay, so from E to E, you're going to bar it with your pointer finger. Like this. Then, sorry I messed up on that one. So then you're going to take your ring finger, you're going to go to the 8th fret of the D string, your pinky finger is going to go to the 8th fret of the G string. Then, you're going to strum the bottom 4 strings, so that's E, A, D, and G. Okay? And then what you're going to do is with this bar, each measure, or each beat is going to have, you're going to move that whole thing up a half step or a fret each time. So you've got, I'll move my middle finger so you can see this. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So it's the same formation. The formation's not going to change. You just move everything down, or up rather, a fret. So barred at the 6th, barred at the 7, with your middle and your pinky on the D and the G of the 9th fret, and then barred at the 8th with your ring and pinky on the D and the G of the 10th fret. Then it's going to set you up real nice for the next part of this first part of the song. So then what you're going to do is you're going to use your, this one's kind of weird, but you're going to use your pointer finger to bar the A, D, and G of the 8th fret there. Okay, see that? The 8th fret. Then you're going to use your ring finger to extend it to the A string of the 10th fret. And you're going to hammer on. So it's going to like this. So that's hammering on to the 10th fret of the A, and you're just strumming the A, D, and G strings. Then you're going to slide that up a half step. Okay, slide down a fret. So you're going to then be barring the A, D, and G of the 9th fret, and then using your ring finger to extend to the A string of the 11th. You don't hammer that on, so you got. You can hammer this last one on, which would be you're barring the A, D, and G of the 10th fret, and then hammering on to the 12th fret of the A string. Alright, so you can do that twice. The first time you go through, you just do this. And you do it again. Now what I like to do right before I go into the singing part, so what that is I'm still just barring rather, the 10th fret of the A, D, and G. But then I'm doing a little bit of playing around with those kind of Hendrix-y. So what that is just, and you can do it however you'd like, but it's really just using your ring finger to hammer on and pull off of the 12th fret of the A and the 12th fret of the D. And then I use my pinky to grab this 13th of the E string, the low E string, which is an F note. So if you throw those kind of alternations in there, after all the jacks, and then you're ready to sing. You're ready to start. Okay, so that's part 1, and that's the intro. Now we need that intro for the rest of the song because he keeps going back to it. But then we've got part 2, which is like the verses, if you will. Okay, so it's going to sound like this. That's it. And then I'm going to show you a little lick that you can do when you get to that last one. So what this is is technically you're starting at a C chord, but we need to use it how Hendrix would have played it because it's going to allow us to do some things, okay? So we're going to use our thumb, we're going to wrap around and grab the 8th fret of the E string. Then we're going to use our pointer finger. We're going to bar the B and the high E of the 8th fret. Then we're going to use our middle finger and we're going to grab the 9th fret of the G string, and our ring finger is going to go to the 10th fret of the D string, okay? And then here's how you do it. You go. So you take that whole shape, one strum, and then you move it. Everything goes down a fret. That's a B note, excuse me, a B chord. So it's gonna go. So one strum on the C, quick strum on the B, and then you have a B flat, which is the same formation, but you're just sliding it down a fret each time. So it's C, quick pass to the B flat, and then we got an F here, which is the same formation that we did, but it's all the way up to the 1st fret. So it's wrapping that thumb around, grabbing the 1st fret of the low E, using your pointer finger to bar the B and the high E of the 1st fret. Then you got your middle finger going to the 2nd fret of the G, and then your ring finger's going to the 3rd fret of the D. So that's really the chords of the verse. It's after all the jacks in their boxes and the clouds have all gone to bed. See, it's just that. That's it. Now, cool thing that you hear in Hendrix all the time is doing his cool little licks that he does, and I think it's really cool to do it on the F chord, right at the end of a kind of a singing line. So this is what I do. So what that is you're gonna keep kind of the F chord going there, but you strum it once and then you go. You keep the barred at the 1st fret of the B and E, but then you hammer on to the 3rd fret of the B string, pull off, so hammer on, and then strum it again, just with the B and the E of the 1st fret. Play your 2nd fret of the G string, and hammer on to the 3rd fret of the G string. So we got. So you play the 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the G string, 2nd fret, and hammer on and off with that 3rd to the 2nd. And then end that little lick by hitting the 3rd fret of the D string. So again, that's. Then you're ready to play it again. Now something you could do that's a little simpler but still sounds cool is to do your F chord and then hammer on and off with your pinky and keeping that middle finger rooted on the 2nd fret of the G string. Hammer on with that 3rd fret of the G string. Alright, so that is that part. Then the last part of the song is going into the chorus. When it goes, and the wind whispers, Mary. Okay, what that is you're gonna do a G by barring, or doing our Jimi Hendrix kind of way of playing it. You're going to wrap your thumb around, grab the 3rd fret of the low E, bar the high E and the B with your pointer finger on the 3rd fret, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G, and then you're going to extend that ring finger to the 5th fret of the D. Now here's what you're going to do to make it sound like what Hendrix is doing. And when you play the G, you're going to hammer on to the 5th fret of the B string, okay? With your pinky. Oops. So you got a chord. And then you're going to do that again with a B flat, which is that same shape but all the way up to the 6th fret. then you're just gonna go back to your intro. And on that B flat, you also want to do the hammer on, which would be the 6th fret of the B to the 8th fret of the B with your pinky. And then back to your intro chords that you had. So we put all that together real slow. Let's do it. After all the jacks in their boxes, do the lick. The clouds have all gone to bed. See happiness staggering on down the street. Footprints dressed in red. Okay, then when you play the chorus second time, you go back. And the wind whispers Mary. So notice when you play the chorus the first time through, when you get to the end, you go. And then you repeat it. And then you do the second part of your intro. So, hope you found that helpful. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next week.